Juggalos and Juggalettes, it's your big homie Big Ian coming at you live from Faygoluvers.net with an interview with the one and only underground legend, Grewsum. Grew, can you say a few words for everybody hearing right now?
What's up, Ian? How's it going, man?
Not bad. So I got a group of questions for you to go over today, so I just want to dive right in here with you real quick. One of the first things I want to talk about that I think has got a lot of your fans really buzzing is a couple of weeks ago, you announced on Facebook that something to the tune of you weren't happy with what your stage name reflecting where you were at in the music industry, and that you were considering changing your stage name from Grewsum to something else. Can you tell us a little bit about that post and where you're at with that decision?
Yeah, it was at a time, man, where I wasn't sure really where I wanted to go musically, and I kind of wanted to try something new. Like, I've been doing it for a long time, and a fresh start just sounded like a really good idea at the time. And so I figured if I swapped the name out, start with a new name, I could just kind of come out and do a lot, maybe something completely different than what I normally do under the Grewsum name and shit. But essentially what happened was I went public with it, maybe before I really thought it through. And then a lot of artists, like my friends that are artists, talked to me. And they essentially talked me out of it just, by saying that with Grewsum, nothing tells me that I have to do a specific sound just because my name is a certain thing. A lot of the time people see the name Grewsum and they just assume it's horrorcore front to end. That's all I do, gory rap music and shit. But, a lot of my friends, artists mostly, were the ones that were kind of like, dude, you don't have to change your name. You already have a good thing going. Just do what you want and use that name to do it. So I decided to kind of stick with the Grewsum name for good.
Any particular artists who, like, by name that you, like, attribute that decision to or that talk to?
Specifically, it was the R2 camp, like Ronnie and Class.
Ronnie Blaze.
Ronnie Blaze, yeah. They were the ones that were just like, they didn't think it was a good decision. They were going to back me if I made that decision, but they just kind of let me know, they didn't think it was the best decision for me, and in the long run, they were right.
Okay, so at the time of the announcement of the, possible name change, had you already made a decision as to what it would be, or was it just sort of, I want to get away from Grewsum, you didn't know what the new name was going to be?
I picked out a name. I was going to roll with Graves, like Graves. I had set up like a blogger site, and I'd set up, all kinds of sites to just kind of make the transition and shit. I'd already kind of started getting into it. So, yeah, I was going to go with Graves. It's still kind of dark, but I figured it sounded more like someone's actual last name, it was something a little bit more open than just Grewsum. But
I was, dude, I hadn't heard that, and that's really funny. I was like, Graves, that's not much farther away from Grewsum. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's not at all. That's the thing. It was still supposed to be kind of dark, because I even had like a new logo made up and everything, like all kinds of shit. It was still going to be dark, but it was, it just didn't sound so gross like Grewsum does,
I gotcha. Okay, and so, pretty obvious, but, like, have you made any final decisions as to, like, do you think you'd ever do a single project as Graves, or, like, a group as Graves, or is this something that was just an idea and you've completely killed?
It's completely dead, yeah. I already went back and deleted all the work I had put in on it, so it's done. It's gone.
Okay, cool. All right, so we will continue to be able to see projects with you as Grewsum now and into the future.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Okay, cool, man. And so with that said, I know current project, you just recently released an album called Natural Sicko. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. Natural Sicko, man, it's a new album, but a lot of the songs on it aren't new. I mean, my last album, full-length album that I did was Comfortable, and that was like in 2009, I want to say. And Natural Sicko is just kind of like an accumulation of the songs I had done in that period of time that I was like really proud of. A few of them were really recent, like leading up to it and shit. But yeah, Natural Sicko it was supposed to be a darker project, and it did turn out to be pretty dark all the way through. And yeah, man, it's a couple years into it. I love the project, man. I love the shit out of it. I got some great collaborations on there. I did a song with Hobson and Gravity. I got Whitney Payton on there. I got Skis on it. Obviously, I got Class on it. He's on everything I ever do. Class and Ronnie. I got to work with a lot of good people in the process of making it. So.
I got you. How many tracks is it?
Dude, you're gonna catch me off hand. It's 12, I do believe.
12 tracks.
I like 12. I like short albums and shit. So I always try to stick around that 11 to 13, just because I like a short album that's worth a lot of like like replay, and I do believe it was like 12.
I gotcha. So now, are there any, for people who are interested in getting a copy of Natural Sicko, where could they go to pick up a copy?
They can go to grewshop.com to pick up a copy, and we have both a link to get it digitally through there as well as the physical copies. And every physical copy we sell, we're throwing in a signed poster with it and one of those silicone Natural Sicko bracelets with it too. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Now switching topics here a little bit. I know one of the most, I guess you could say, public things to happen in the last, in recent gruesome history, was your beef with the Jokerr. And I know that, obviously there were a lot of, a lot happening in that beef during the time it was going down that was very public. A lot of people, saw it and knew what was going on. But I also know that, since the ending of the beef that that there have been, developments that may have gone undetected by the majority of people, just words exchanged in not a negative way, discussions on Facebook as to the details of the beef, its history, et cetera, et cetera. So can you fill us in a little bit on the beef in general, but especially developments about it since it's kind of been over and it's been out of the public juggalo eye?
Well, the beef itself, man, all kind of just stemmed from me wanting to work with the dude. I had heard through some mutual friends that we have that the dude was digging my music. I didn't really know a way to get a hold of the dude. So, I was trying to go through the few people I know to get a hold of him. And he was trying to charge me something crazy, and I didn't, I wasn't digging it, so I went publicly, and I was like, this dude obviously doesn't have the mutual respect for me that I have for him and shit. And that was what started it all, man. Like, it was 3 months after that, roughly, that he came out with, like, a track talking shit about me. But, I mean, really, the Joker does a lot of shit just to kind of stir shit up, man. You get conflict going, grabs a lot more people's attention, and that's really all it was, man. I've talked to the dude multiple times since then. He does like my music. He told me he wouldn't have even gone after me if he didn't think I was worth a shit. So, I mean, everything between me and him is good as far as I know, man. I mean, I talked to him just as soon as probably a couple weeks ago I talked to him. So,
okay, so like, would you consider yourselves like just friends, acquaintances on speaking terms? Like, what do you like? Obviously, you guys aren't beefing anymore. Like, what grounds on speaking terms? Like, how do you guys consider yourselves at this point?
I would probably say acquaintances. We're not like buddies or anything, but, we do shoot the shit sometimes. So.
Okay. All right, Grew. So I know another real big development in your career thus far is that you've kind of officially signed like a new record deal with, it's R2 Records, correct?
Yeah, it's R2 Music Entertainment, actually, is what it is, yeah.
Okay, and they're a Dallas group, correct?
Yeah, it's Ronnie Blaze that runs everything. Also, Class is an artist, and they got a new dude down there named VZ who's incredible. Dude's sick. So.
Okay, cool. So what do you expect to like? What are your initial plans for after signing this new deal and everything in the works? Like, what's your initial game plan for your career in the immediate future?
With R2 right now, we've actually been linking up because I'm the only dude that's not in Dallas, at least in the Dallas area. So we link up like at least once a week. We all get on the computer. Thank God for technology, man. We just link up like long distance and do studio sessions, and we have a majority of what's an R2 mixtape done. I'd say probably 15 tracks deep on it already. So that's the main thing. The first thing we're doing with R2 is we're going to drop like a big collaborative EP, or not EP, mixtape with everybody all on it. So.
Okay, and so like, do you know any projected release date for that mixtape?
No, man, we're kind of, I learned a big lesson with Natural Sicko. I had a release date before I was actually done mixing and mastering and everything, so we're going to wait till the thing's completely done, and then we'll let people know when we're going to drop it.
Okay, now, as you mentioned, you were in Iowa, and R2 is a label based out of Texas, and I know that there was a lot of speculation regarding whether or not you would move to Dallas because of your ties to this record label that was obviously a great distance away from you. Is there any truth to that, or any possibility that you would make the move to Dallas for your music?
Oh, dude, it's a huge possibility, man. I've been, I go down there now probably fucking at least once a month. Go down to Texas and hang out and shit, It would definitely be a lot easier if I lived down there. It's just that my whole family's up here, so it kind of makes it difficult. But, I mean, it's something that we have talked about, and we still definitely do talk about me moving down to Texas.
Okay, how great a distance are we talking? 5 hours, 10 hours?
a drive down there, I think when we drove, it was about 13 hours, the drive. But most of the time I fly out, so it's pretty quick.
Okay, so a flight's what, 2-3 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so tell us a little bit about, Grewsum into the future. Like, what's obviously past the mixtape, but what's your plans for your next album, a side project, anything along those lines?
Well, the next thing I'll be releasing for sure is a sequel to the IA Boys mixtape I did, I think, 2008 with Bubs. Bubs had been hanging out for a while. He's back locked up again, but what we got done is going to come out as the IA Boys mixtape. That'll just be like a free release that everyone can grab. But that'll be done. I'm doing the weekly 16s right now, just to kind of create some distance between Natural Sicko and the IA Boys project. So as soon as I'm done doing about 8 weeks of the weekly 16s for free on my Facebook, I'm going to release the IA Boys mixtape. And I'm also working on I have an EP I want to do for free too. Back in the day when I did an album called The Near Life Experience, I'd done a couple tracks with Johnny Cash samples on them, and people really loved them. They loved those things. So I've actually accumulated a good amount of beats that are all Johnny Cash samples. I'm going to put out like another free EP that's all samples of like me over tracks with samples of Johnny Cash. So
Would it be fair to say that you're a big fan of Johnny Cash, or just something like tell us a little bit about that?
I do. I love Johnny Cash music, man. I love all kinds of music, man. I grew up. My dad, he was in a band. They traveled, and he was always did music, kind of similar to like Eric Clapton, like that style of rock and stuff. So I kind of grew up listening to, that stuff as well as whatever I was picking up everywhere else. So I kind of, I like everything really when it comes to music, man.
That's awesome. I'm a big Johnny Cash fan myself, so that's always cool to hear something like that in the underground. So now, a quick follow-up question to the whole situation with R2 is that this is the new label that you're signed and rolling with. Tell us a little bit about. I know at one point you had some pretty strong ties to the Sick Fucks music group. Is that what's your status with them, or were you ever was that just people you were doing music with? Did you have any sort of a deal with them? What's your situation with the Sick Fucks?
We got into something. The Sick Fucks, just for the record, they're all cool as fuck, man. I'm really cool with Jimmy and the Dope Sick guys. They're all really cool people, and it was just kind of like we dove into something too fast. Like they took me on. They were going to help me out at the time, and I don't think they realized I have a crazy in studio work ethic. I like to do a lot of shit, and I like to do it fast. And the only thing was Jimmy was just like, I don't think we can keep up with you. So that was the only thing that made that come to an end, was that Jimmy just straight up didn't think they could keep up with me and what I was, all my ideas I had. So
keep up with you as far as what distribute, or explain a little bit more what you mean by not being able to keep up with you.
Well, with R2, I have just free range to just drop projects. Like I said, I'm dropping a mixtape, an EP I've started working on, Talk Shit Avenger 2. We have another mixtape with the R2 guys. I have a fucking EP I'm doing with Bloke C that's all about smoking weed, and Ronnie's just like, as soon as you can do them, we can release them. Well, Sick Fucks, they couldn't do that because they have a huge roster now, man. When they signed me, they also signed a ton of dudes from Minnesota at the same time. So it wasn't in there for me to be dropping a bunch of releases when they got to cater to all their other artists as well. So
I got you. So your rapid release schedule was going to kind of clash with the amount of artists and release dates and schedules that they had as a label.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Grew, I think that's all the questions I've got for you right now. Is there anything else you'd like to say to all your fans listening to this right now?
I just want to say much love to anybody who gives gruesome music a chance. I know it's weird. I know it's different, but it's nice to know there's a lot of fucking weird and different people out there that can relate with me. So thank you very much to everybody. Thank you, man. It's an honor to have you interview me, man. I listen to all your interviews and shit. You're good at what you do.
Oh, thank you, Grewsum. I really appreciate that, man.
Man, you guys do good work over there. I love Faygoluvers, man. So
awesome. Grewsum's got love for the Faygoluvers, y'all.
That he does.
All right, cool, man. All right, Grewsum, thanks again for taking the time out of your day to do this interview. Just thank you for taking the time. If there's anything we can ever do for you, let us know. And this has been Grewsum and Big Ian. We're out.